Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of the Well Done Way podcast. My name's Colby Fasella, and today we're going to be talking about the second key to success, which is strategy. Last week we talked about stewardship, and that's really the foundational piece. And then next week we're going to be talking about scale, how to scale our lives and our businesses to the next level. But first we're going to talk about strategy, and I created this really cool tool that we're going to go through today. It's called the 60-minute business plan. We're going to go through that much quicker, but it's really just 20 questions that are asked in a unique way to help align our passion and our purpose and our vision in our businesses in life. Before we get to that, I want to go and pick back up where we left off at this parable, where this master is about to go on a journey. And it picks up right before verse 16. It says, "Then he went on a journey, so the master left, and immediately the man who had received 5 talents went and put them to work." And so I think the key word here is immediately. It doesn't say that he went off and foolishly just gambled away his money or put it in the stock market or just tossed it aside and set it for later. But this man, he immediately went out and put it to work. And that needs to be the case with us. We need to be ready. We need to create these systems and processes and have our plans for our employees down the road. And so that when we come to this crossroads, we're ready to put all these things that we've already prepared into practice. And so that's why strategy is so important, is just to think about some of these things ahead of time. And like I said, I created this 60-minute business plan, the 20 questions. And if you guys find a lot of value in this and you're interested in learning more, I will send you the PDF for free after this. So just shoot me a DM or send me a comment and I'll make sure that gets to you, and I can even walk you through it and help you with it as well. But the first question I want to ask is, how will this business bring fulfillment to your purpose in life? And I think this is super important to ask because a lot of us might be, maybe you're in the healthcare industry, the finance industry, and you ask yourself the question like, hey, how does this relate to my purpose in life? And I think anything you do can relate to your purpose in life as long as you're helping people. Maybe you're adding value to someone, or you are training someone up that's under you, or you're providing a service that's valuable to someone. Any number of things can really be tied back to your purpose. But I think the biggest lie that I've heard is, if you do what you love, it isn't work. And at the end of the day, if you work a 9 to 5 for somebody else, or you're working for yourself, there's always going to be points in your life or your business that you feel like giving up. Times are going to get tough. Markets are going to go up and down. But if you can always tie what you're doing back to your purpose and your why, ask yourself, why am I doing this? And if that answer can be given and tied back to your purpose, I think you're in a really good position to be able to weather the storms and to push through any adversity that comes your way. So the first question is, how is this going to bring fulfillment to my life? The second question, I think it's a super cool question, really unique, is what are 4 words that are going to describe the kind of person that I'm going to hire? And this is a question about core values, but instead of just asking, hey, what are your 4 core values? I want you to be thinking about, what are the kind of people that I'm going to hire going to look like? Are they going to look like me? Do I have another picture in my head about what these people are going to be? Any way that you look at it, you need to find these 4 qualities that you're going to look for in your employees. And hopefully you see those things in yourself and your business as well. And that's how you create culture. The third question is, what does your ideal day look like? This is a question around lifestyle. And I think my mom asked me this question first, but it's really cool just to think about, hey, if I had a dream day, what is that going to look like? How many hours am I going to work? What am I going to do for lunch? When do I get back and spend time with my family? What do I do then? Am I going to go to all my kids' sports, basketball, football games, all these kind of different things? What's my ideal day going to look like? And we can ask yourself that, but also I think it's cool to ask, like, if I go this route in business, what am I going to have to do? Am I going to have to work a 9 to 5 or even 9 to 7? Or how many hours am I going to have to put into this job now? And then also in 10 years, what's that going to look like? So that's a really cool tool in just kind of determining which route you go in your business, or maybe you're working for somebody else. But if we ask ourselves, what does our ideal lifestyle look like? That can help us kind of narrow down what kind of paths we want to take, whether it's working for yourself or even someone else. Number 4 is, what are 3 ways you will generate revenue? And a lot of us, maybe in our businesses, we only think of one way. Maybe it's a clothing brand and you're just going to put out clothes. I mean, you have hoodies and joggers and all these different things, but at the end of the day, you're just putting out clothes. But what are a couple other ways you can generate revenue? Could you go and put on events? Could you go to your local farmer's market and do giveaways or get sponsored by somebody? There's a lot of different ways we can make money inside of our businesses that are creative that we may not even think about. That kind of runs into the next question. Question 5 is, how can you turn your business model into subscription or tier-based? I think the most powerful thing that you can do is set up some kind of subscription in your business. The reason that is because if you ever go to sell your business, and I'm not telling you to do that, but if you did, the multiplier for that is going to be a lot higher than a business that you have to go out and can constantly make sales year after year after year to get more revenue. But in a subscription-based business, you make that one sale and it's something called a customer lifetime value. And so like in a home building business, you build the house one time, then you're out of there. I mean, you might get that client again, maybe 10, 20 years down the road, but you build that house one time, you take your profit, and that's it. Same thing with flipping homes. You flip it, you sell it, and then you don't get any more revenue from that. But if you take it, for example, a rental, you're getting passive income, which obviously if you're in real estate, you know it's not passive, but you're getting that income month after month after month. Same thing with any other subscription business. A lot of people say like, hey, Colby, I really want to get into real estate. And that's really cool if you do, but businesses, if you own your own business, that's really the same thing. You can set up your business in a way that gives you profit and passive income when you're not even working in your business. And so customer lifetime value, that's something to really focus on. How can I maximize the value of this one customer and not just make one sale and get out of there, but how can I keep adding value so that they keep coming back? Number 6 is, what will people remember about your business? This is the brand recognition. And this goes beyond just having a clean website and a cool brand logo and all these different things. But it's really just, how are you making people feel? I don't know who said it, but I really love the quote. People oftentimes don't remember what you did, but how you made them feel. And this goes for life and business. If I go out and I give someone cookies, I don't know why I came up with that example, but they're going to be focused more on just the fact that you did it for them rather than the thing itself. And if you just keep, let's say you have a sibling and you keep bugging them over and over and over again, at some point they're just going to be like, oh man, I've had enough of that, dude. Same thing in our work relationships. If you keep making fun of someone over and over again, they're not going to like you, but it's how you make them feel. That's how they're going to remember you by. Same thing in our businesses. We want to make our clients feel welcome at home, and we want to cultivate this atmosphere, not just in our employees and our staff, but also this thing that people see from the outside looking in, like, hey, I want to be a part of that culture. What they're doing over there is super cool. Number 7 is, who is most likely to become a raving fan of your business? And this question is centered around your target market. And I have a client named Chris, and he owns a basketball training company. And what you might think at first glance is his target audience is a 13-year-old through a 22-year-old that's interested in playing basketball. And while that's the case to be his the people that he's actually working with, that might not be the case for his target audience, because a lot of these kids, they're going to have parents, and these parents are the people that are going to care the most about their success and their kids' well-being. So our target audience is not the kids, but it's the parents. Those are the people they're going to be sharing on Facebook with their other friends and say, hey, you need to get this kid with Chris. Chris does an amazing job with our son's basketball training. And so we just need to figure out who that is. Who is going to be a raving fan of your business? Number 8 is, how much does your competition charge? And that doesn't end with how much do they charge. This is all market research. This is, what does our competition's website look like? What are the things that they do that are different than things that we do? And that leads into the next question is, what will you do that nobody else does? We want to create $1 million experience for our clients. Whether you're selling a $1 product or a $100,000 product or even $1 million product, we want to have that same experience. So when a customer walks in our door, they say, wow, I want what's going on here. You guys have something really cool going on here, and I want to be a part of it. How are we going to put that in place? What are we going to do that nobody else does that are going to draw clients into us? Number 10, what is something you will regret if you do not do? This is your non-negotiables. Something to think about in your business. If I don't market and if I don't use social media, I'm going to regret it because I'm not maximizing the potential to reach more people. And that might look different for you guys. You just have to come up with it on your own. But what is something that you will regret if you don't put in place in your business? Number 11 is how will people hear about your business? And this is your marketing strategy. And this could be through Google SEO. This could be through Facebook leads, Instagram marketing, and there's a door-to-door email marketing. There's a ton of different things that you can use to get the word out, but it's just what works best for you. And it might take some trial and error. Like I've used all these things. I spent thousands of dollars on marketing through other businesses, and really what works best a lot of times is just referrals. So you might start there. It's cheap. You just have to treat your clients well and add a referral bonus and things like that. But you just need to determine how you're going to get the word out, because if you don't, nobody else is going to do it for you. Number 12 is what would you say to a potential customer? So if somebody walked through your door, what are you going to say to them? And the one job of marketing is to gain an inquiry. So once you've got that inquiry, this is now your marketing message. This is kind of the beginning side of the sales process, is what are you going to say to a potential customer? And you don't want to just sell. What my philosophy is, you give, and then you ask in return. It's called reciprocity. People are going to be more likely to give something to you or buy your product if you've given something of value to them first. And I heard something really cool in a podcast the other day, is if you're not scared to give it away, then you shouldn't be giving it away, because it's not worth very much. So what you choose to do is your giveaways or give for free to get people in the door. It should make you a little bit scared. You should be like, oh man, do I really want to give this away for free? And if you do something like that has actually like weight and has value, then people are going to be more likely to, in return, buy something from you or take one of your courses or buy some of your clothing and stuff like that. Number 13, where do you see your business in 5 years? And I had a client once that was really confused by this question. He's like, well, I don't have employees. It's going to take me 6-7 years to get an employee. I don't need a warehouse right now. And honestly, that was a valid point. But we need to think about some of these things now, so that when we get to this point in our businesses where it's either go up or regress, we go up. Because if you're not going forward, oftentimes we're going back. And if we don't have this thing in place, we don't have these processes and what we're going to hire, people that we're going to hire in place, then we get to that point to make that hire, we're going to be like, oh shoot, I don't know. How am I going to make this hire when I don't have a job description? I don't have a salary expectation in place. And that's why I think it's super important to be thinking about these things ahead of time. Number 14, what are 5 ways your business could fail to reach your vision? And this is questions centered around KPIs, which is key performance indicators. And if you ask yourself this question in this way, we can really see the weak points in our business. Hey, if I don't put this into place, this might fail. If I don't focus on how many people am I getting in the door, how am I going to make sales? And we also need to know that number. How many people do I have to get in the door to make one sale? Is that 10? Is that 20 leads? Is that 30, 100? And if we know that number, it's just a numbers game. We just need to find out a way to get that many leads, to make this many sales, to get this amount of revenue. And that's how we create our business models. Number 15, why will customers be hesitant to sign up? And this is a question around overcoming objections. And one of the most important things you can do in your sales process is write out a list of maybe 5 to 10 reasons your customers aren't going to want to buy from you. What are the things that they're going to be worried about when they're thinking about buying from you? And if you incorporate some of that into your sales process, First of all, not only is it going to build trust in you as a person, it's also going to reduce the sales resistance because you've already told them all the reasons they don't want to buy from you. And you've already answered and addressed all their concerns before they even comes up. It's going to allow you to have way more sales, build way more trust, and have a better overall sales process along with it. Number 16, what are 5 things you need to do to run your business in 5 years? Maybe that's FF&E, furniture, fixtures, equipment. Maybe that's adding a warehouse space. Maybe that's merch, or even thinking about some of the employees that you're going to have to put in place. But it's super important to think about those things up front. Number 17 is, how many clients do you need to survive? And that's a question, just what does your baseline need to be? Is it 60,000? Is it 70,000 a year for you to pay the bills, pay your rent, pay your mortgage? What's that number for you? A lot of us are maybe working another job right now before we really take off into our own businesses or side hustles, but we just need to determine like, hey, do I need 50,000 to survive? Do I need 60? And then also tie that back to a number of sales that you need to make for the year. How many clients do you need for the year as well? And then a follow-up question to that, number 18, is what is your 1 rep max in your business? What's your revenue ceiling? So if you worked 40 hours a week, maybe 2 to 3 years from now after you build some of these things up, how much money am I going to be able to make? Is it 100? Is it 150? And maybe you're in a business that's easily scalable, like a clothing brand. I mean, you can run a lot of those things in your clothing brand with just you. You're the marketing director, you're the designer, you do all of the things for your business. But we also want to look like number 19. What is my business going to look like with 3 of me? Is it going to increase my revenue 3x? Maybe it's 10x. Maybe if we add a marketing director, we can focus more of our time on content creation or vice versa. But what is our business going to look like if we add more people? Number 20, and this is the most important question after that first question that we answered, what do we need to do today to take action? What are you going to do? Are you going to follow this business plan? I mean, if you guys want the PDF, again, shoot me a DM, comment on the video, and I'll be happy to send you guys through it and even walk you through it. Maybe that's your next step, is getting aligned with your vision and putting these processes and systems into place today so that you're ready 5 years from now, 10 years from now to be able to scale to the next level, which we're going to talk about next week. Thanks for tuning in, y'all, and have a good one. We'll talk to you next time.